So since 2013, if you're a fan of Star Wars and you look forward to a lot of the games that are coming out, you pretty much know where they're going to be coming from. That's EA, because in 2013, they signed a deal with Disney to have exclusive rights to create games for the Star Wars universe, specifically newer, bigger games. We've seen Disney take some of the older titles and allow other companies like Aspire to remaster them. Think of like Pod Racer and Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. But if we want like the next big Star Wars game, we know EA is going to be the one to tackle that, and that's led to a lot of frustration and canceled games and even being in the news for loot boxes with Battlefront 2. At times it's been a disaster, and then other times they've knocked out of the park with something like Jedi Fallen Order, which was a very good game done by Respawn. Now, however, it looks like there might be a light at the end of this tunnel, because I think it's possible that in a couple of years, that exclusive deal might not be renewed. In fact, it almost looks like Star Wars could be something that's just licensed out to other companies, as it appears that Disney is starting to work towards creating their own identity around the Star Wars games, and even really just overall for Lucasfilm Games now, which is kind of a callback, I guess, to LucasArts. That was a brand that was shut down in 2013 when this deal was signed with EA, and now they're bringing it back. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawn Wave Plus channel, make sure you subscribe down below. Let's go over here to StarWars.com. We can see it says Lucasfilm Games begins a new era. New social channels, a sizzle reel, and more herald the bright future of Lucasfilm Games. Now, people think of like LucasArts and they immediately think Star Wars, but they did other games as well, even as far back as like Maniac Mansion. Yeah, like very old games. Lucasfilm Games, if I remember right, that turned into LucasArts, or was like rolled into it. And LucasArts, for a while there, was on a roll. I mean, I looked back, and there were games that I really liked from the late 90s, like Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight. Loved that game. And then the following year, we had Mysteries of the Sith, which kind of played off of that. But between 1997 and like 2002, just as an example, there were 25 Star Wars games. 25 games in 5 years. Now with EA, it's difficult just to get 5 games out of them for like their entirety of their contract right now, which was apparently a 10-year deal. So in 2023, will they be renewing it? Well, let's see what they have here for Lucasfilm's games. They say Lucasfilm's legacy in gaming stretches back decades. And with Lucasfilm and the galaxy far, far away entering a new and unprecedented phase of creativity, so will the world of Lucasfilm Games, developed in collaboration with the finest studios across the industry. StarWars.com is thrilled to reveal that Lucasfilm Games is now the official identity for all gaming titles from Lucasfilm, a name that encompasses the company's rich catalog of video games and its eye toward the future. To mark this new era, Lucasfilm Games has launched social channels on Twitter and Facebook, which will deliver breaking news and more directly to fans. You can watch a special sizzle reel celebrating the history of games from Lucasfilm below. The Lucasfilm Games logo featured above will appear in all future Lucasfilm Games titles. So when you start the game up and they're going through like the different logos and credits, that should appear right there. And we have a little sizzle reel, so you'll probably be seeing quite a bit of that logo going forward. And I say that because I really do think that Disney is realizing that there is a lot more potential for the Star Wars brand when it comes to video games than being tied down to EA. Mostly because, let's be real here, EA has not done a great job with the Star Wars universe when it comes to gaming. They've canceled several projects, think like with Visceral, and they had like with their Uncharted type Star Wars game. And fortunately, Respawn came in and I think made like one of the best ones they've had, which is Fallen Order. And a lot of people also like the Old Republic, which has produced a lot of content and kept a pretty good community, I would say, right? Since that it came out in 2013, I believe, actually, just before the deal was signed. So that's been a pretty good service-based game. But the issue, I think, that we're seeing here is that EA really wants to just make those service-based games, and that's kind of it. Like, that's why, remember, Fallen Order came out, and everyone up until then was just asking them over and over and over again, hey, are there microtransactions in this? Is this going to be always online? Is this going to have multiplayer? That kept coming up. Even after it came out, people thought they were going to update it with loot boxes, and they never did. They actually provided like just a free update with more content. It was weird. Like, think about that. Like, from EA, it's shocking even to see that. But if you look at it from Disney's standpoint, I think they were expecting more out of this deal with EA. You sign on, you don't have to deal with as much stuff because let's say they start taking the Star Wars license and they start licensing it out to other companies, other studios. There's going to be a lot to check in on there. It's not like how if you're dealing with EA, you just deal with EA and then they go to all of their studios and work everything out. There's going to be a lot more legwork, I'll say here, from Disney, but there would be a lot more potential as well. I mean, we were thinking of, okay, yearly Star Wars games from EA. I'm thinking more like a couple Star Wars games a year now, like actual larger Star Wars games that they could get out of this if they start going around to different companies. I could even see a first party, like, like for the systems, a Nintendo, a Sony, or a Microsoft go to them and maybe they want to create a Star Wars game and it gets licensed to them. Maybe Nintendo goes to them and said, hey, let's do something with Rogue Squadron. You guys had Squadrons with EA and that was like multiplayer only. Let's make like a full single player style Rogue Squadron game in the series. Now I'm bringing that up because we did have an announcement today that's going to be gone over in Newswave tomorrow for a new Indiana Jones game, and it's from Bethesda, which is going to be part of Microsoft soon. And if that's pretty far off, is that then an Xbox and PC or Game Pass exclusive? Maybe Sony wants to get in on this and say, hey, can we do something with The Mandalorian? I cannot believe EA did not capitalize on that. I mean, they still could technically because they have until 2023. And when that contract ends, which I don't think they're going to renew, like I said, doesn't mean that EA can't keep making Star Wars games. It just means they won't have the exclusive rights to it. They could still go to Lucasfilm Games, just like everyone else, and say, hey, we would like to make a game with The Mandalorian right in that universe. So it's something that I think will just benefit gamers overall as long as this contract does not get renewed and it's still tied to EA. Because that could just effectively mean just more Star Wars games for everyone, and I think a more diverse lineup. I mean, really think about all the different things they could do. I mean, they could do like a real-time strategy game with Star Wars, like a larger one. They could do an RPG. We could see a KOTOR, another Knights of the Old Republic style game. Maybe a company wants to pursue Pod Racer and make a whole racing series around Star Wars again. Maybe we see more with Jedi Knight and Kyle Katarn makes a return. So, like I said, there's a lot of potential here, provided there's not a new deal for exclusivity. And the fact that they formed Lucasfilm Games, I think, is kind of pointing towards them just preparing to go beyond this contract and start dealing with many, many more studios. So exciting stuff here, I think, looking at this. And here's hoping for all the Star Wars fans out there that you don't have to deal exclusively with EA going forward. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.